I was really happy to see this story. And this is definitely one of those good things that Trump has done. I have a cell phone, and the robocalls got so bad, probably by spring, it got so bad. I had to contact Verizon, and they walked me through a process to show me how to block these calls, and they would not ring through. So I was grateful for that. I still do get some occasionally, but it is far fewer than it was before. So, ladies and gentlemen, this comes out in the Hill, December 31st, 2019. Trump signs law to cut down on robocalls. Woo, yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one that Trump did. Trump on Monday signed into law a bill aimed at reducing the scourge of robocalls that contact millions of U.S. consumers every year, assuring Americans will receive fewer spam calls in 2020. In a statement late Monday night, White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said Trump was proud. So he signed this bill, ladies and gentlemen, and the result of months of bipartisan and bicameral negotiations on the subject amid a divided Congress. Well, this was definitely a good thing, but the name of this bill is like a long one, Palone Thune, Telephone Robocall Abuse, Criminal Enforcement and Deterrence Trace Act. Wow, y'all couldn't come up with a shorter name than that. This historic legislation will provide American consumers with even greater protection against annoying, unsolicited robocalls, Grisham said. American families deserve control over their communications. This legislation will update our laws and regulations to stiffen penalties, increase transparency, and enhance government collaboration to stop unwanted solicitation. The legislation likely won't cut down on the billions of spam calls flooding American phone lines right away, but experts say average consumers can expect to see a reduction within 6 months, though the calls won't disappear completely. And the reason why the calls will not disappear completely, ladies and gentlemen, is because these calls are done by computers. They're not done by your landline or cell phone. It is done by computers. So it changed the whole game of you getting these calls. Now, if it was on the phone lines, they would have been able to shut them down real quickly. But now they're coming from different IP addresses. So now it's more difficult for them to cut these calls off. Over the past several years, illegal robocalls have spiked enormously in the US as scammers find new and cheap ways to dial up consumers en masse. As they pry for sensitive personal information, the scammers, oftentimes located outside of the US, frequently target vulnerable populations as they ask for social security numbers, credit card information, and more. I've had that happen. And the calls sound like they came from maybe Pakistan or India, some region like that, from the way they sound. But a lot of times I recognize it and I don't answer, and I have the ability to block it immediately so they can't call back. The Trace Act will put onus on the Federal Communication Commission, FCC, and phone companies to begin to combat the epidemic. The bill requires phone companies to block illegal robocalls without charging customers any extra money, and will require most carriers in the US to ensure that calls are coming from real numbers. Yeah. Like I said, most of them are coming from a computer. It also gives government regulators more time to find scammers and penalize them more aggressively, increasing fines, to 10,000 for illegal robocalling operations. Previous versions of the legislation would have required the FCC to place new parameters around what defines a robocall in the first place, potentially cutting down on automated calls from legitimate businesses as well as illegal scammers. But the provisions ultimately didn't make it into the compromise bill or the law signed on Monday night. The FCC and a broad coalition of state attorneys generals have taken steps aimed at combating robocalls simultaneously, bringing the full force of relevant regulators and government officials against a wave of scammers. Yeah, it is so far out of hand. I was looking online. It was telling me that calls are coming from Russia, all over, Pakistan, India, and there's like certain locations that are notorious, and those are all scamming calls. I had one that called me talking about my Facebook has been compromised and I need to get in touch with them right away. I don't even have Facebook. I don't have Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, but this is what this person on this robocall was trying to tell me, that there was some serious issue with my Facebook. I have no Facebook. So they are definitely scammers. This has gone on for so long. If you don't know what to do, I don't know who your carriers are, but they should be able to walk you through and show you how to block a lot of these spam calls, just like Verizon did with me. Ladies and gentlemen, it would definitely, if you're getting a lot of these spam calls, it would be worth your while to contact them. And they do have some mechanisms in place that can help block out those calls where they don't even ring through on your phone. So take advantage of that, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your contact. Oh my God. Please leave. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.